Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to slay another day? So are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here with my co-host, Sarah Humphrey. Sarah, how are you?
Jessica, I just got in my acceptance letter from Sunnydale University. I got accepted.
So proud of you.
Thank you. I'm hoping that you can join me. I know it is not Stanford or
Oxford.
any other fancy schools that I know you'll get into, but I hope that it's good enough for you to join me so you could do your little Wicca things.
Yeah, I want to know if the attendance numbers have gone down for University of Sunnydale or Sunnydale University, because they're literally on a hellmouth and like there's constant monsters and death. So you have to imagine parents are like, we don't want to send our child there.
You would think so, but I'm sure that's not the case. Also, the fact that there are probably less teenagers locally because they're all deados.
They're all dead. Maybe this is another reason why Willow ultimately is going to go there, is because she gets a full ride, because they're like so desperate to not just have students, but to have students with good grades.
Yes. I think that must be it. But also, I feel like we also learned that Sunnydale is really big, because at the end of the episode, Buffy was like, I really hope that I don't have to commute from home, because it's kind of a long commute. And also, if you don't dorm, you're a loser, which I agree. You loser, Jessica. You didn't even dorm. What's wrong with you?
I think we can excuse this little weirdness by saying it's in California. So even if the college is only like 15 miles away, it will take you 17 hours to get there, because they're too close to LA and congestion, traffic, the works.
Wait, this is stupid. Does Buffy even drive?
She's not a virgin, but I also don't think she. No. You know what it is? I remember there was an entire storyline about her asking her mom to help her practice driving so that she could get her license
on her 16th birthday.
Right.
And Joyce was like, no.
We've not seen her drive.
Yeah. So I don't think that she knows how to drive, which in California is really unfortunate.
I feel like the only Scooby that we've seen Oz drive, and we've seen Xander drive. Cordelia can drive, right? I think we've seen her drive too.
She drives her daddy's car. Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into what's going on with Cordelia, because sad to say it, everyone, I think she's now a poor.
This is the worst news that's ever happened. I cannot believe that my poor Cordelia has to work for a living. How appalling.
She works hard for her money.
Yeah, I guess. Like probably making minimum wage $7.25, if that.
Sure.
Back then it was like
$5.
Yeah. So that was really interesting, because I feel as though Cordelia has been a little cagey about where she's ending up. And so much so that Xander accused her of not even getting into any school, which I loved when she pulled out the receipts and was like, I got into here, I got into there, I got into there, I got into here. But we did find out that she's always at the mall. She's hanging at the mall, and Xander was like, oh, you're just buying more clothes. But in reality, she works at this dress shop, and I feel as though she is harboring a big secret. And I'm trying to think, Jess, what do we know about Cordelia's parents?
Almost nothing. I think we know they're rich, and we know that, like, I want to say over some holiday at some point they were traveling. So, I mean, we don't know very much. I'd say we don't know very much about most of these people's parents, but least of all Cordelia. And my assumption is that her father has now lost all his money, and in order to keep up appearances and possibly help supplement the family income, Cordelia is now working. And wild stuff. I'm really interested to see Is this the way they get Cordelia to stay local? Is she can't afford to go away to a bigger college? Now, obviously there's student loans and all of that stuff. But in terms of her qualifying for some sort of financial aid, if her father was super rich, hard to see that happening for her. So maybe this is the show's way of getting all the Scoobies to stay local, but I'm definitely intrigued. I want to know more about this, especially because we've said this. It feels like without Cordelia in the Scoobies, the only times we're really seeing her and getting scenes with her is when her and Xander are butting heads, which frankly, I'm kind of tired of at this point. So I'd like to see something else.
Yeah, I wonder if so I guess there's 3 more episodes until the rest of the season. We have like a prom episode. I'm sorry. I saw the title for the next episode.
The prom. Yeah.
The prom, which I'm very excited about. And then I think it's like a 2-part graduation,
Correct.
whatever. So it's interesting because it's like if Cordelia was a sophomore, freshman, junior, it would be the worst news in the world for that to get out that she's a poor. Especially because like she really values like her status or popularity. So I feel, but like now is she just trying to keep it under wraps until she graduates and then she's like, I'm never gonna see you motherfuckers ever again, deuces? Or do you think that this is going to be something that comes out in the next episode?
Oh, I think it'll get revealed. I feel like prom feels like a really she works at a dress store. Like prom feels like a time where people are going to be shopping for dresses. It's going to get out that she's working there. How is she going to avoid it? How is she going to avoid bumping into someone that goes to school at Sunnydale High? I think I think next episode, it's very likely to come out. And if not, then I could still see graduation being the time that it comes out when everyone's talking about their post-graduation plans and that sort of thing.
So she can't afford to go to school. Like she might have gone into all these schools, but she's not like a Willow where she probably got a full ride everywhere that she applied to.
So she is a good student, I think. I think it's on record that she is an excellent student.
So, okay. But like, so you think that you think that she's working so that she can like, because like I would assume like, oh, supplement her like shopping, but you think that there's a possibility that she's helping around the house?
I think so. I think I'd be hard pressed to think of a situation in which Cordelia gets a job unless she absolutely has to, unless daddy's money isn't around anymore.
Is there a world where her family was never rich and she kept it under wraps for like 4+ years?
I think that would be really hard to believe considering she was a very popular kid, like which no one ever came over to her house. Her and Xander saw each other for a while. It'd be wild if that was the case. I just think, especially if she's working locally at like a local dress store and no one has ever come in while she's been working, I'd be hard pressed to think that that would be the case.
I think I've seen that somewhere, but I don't remember what show.
Like in a movie or okay, yeah.
Or a movie. Like I've seen like, oh, like I'm a rich girl, but like I don't want you to come over because I live on the bad side of the, area
tracks.
And the bad side of the tracks and I don't want you to see. I've seen that. I just don't remember where.
Yeah. I think that's I think a popular storyline is rich person loses all their money. I mean, we were already on Cordelia's side. Like we've been here, since like what early, like, well, for me a little bit longer than you, but it took me longer to really acclimate to Cordelia and like her more, but it's been a couple seasons. So usually this is, I feel like a storyline shows use to endear us to maybe a pricklier character who's rich is to have them be now down on their luck. I don't know. I'm interested to know more. I'm intrigued, and hopefully the prom episode is going to be that's where this will get revealed as to like what exactly is going on. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here. Obviously we're talking about Choices, season 3, episode 19. Let's take Cordelia off the board here. We discussed her. what do we think is going on? I mean, Bangel, right? Like Bangel. They seem to be really stuck in a rut. All they do is slay demons together. They don't really seem to, they've lost the spark, I think.
Mm.
And I feel like we are barreling towards the Angel spinoff because even the mayor is like speaking truths about their relationship. Like, what are you guys gonna do? You know,
Uh-huh.
like you can't even what does he say? You can't even be happy. Because if you do, then you will turn evil. Any moment of true happiness will turn you evil.
Mm.
And he has experience with this apparently. He's been married and his wife died because she got old.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very sad tale. And I guess this is part of why vampires are very solitary uh people typically. Like we see a lot of them brooding. And this is part of why they brood, because they fall in love, they have love, they lose love because they get older. Um because their loves get older and they stay the same age. It is very sad. Just like the age of Adeline. Very sad. Have you ever seen The Age of Adeline?
I have no idea what that is. Is it a movie?
Oh, it's a movie. It's a movie with I know like she's not like the person of the week, but with Blake Lively. And I actually do think that it is like a pretty good movie. But basically, Adeline like there was some sort of something and she became ageless and she like always she never aged, and like she had a daughter and her daughters turned older than her.
Oh, interesting.
And
Genetic.
yeah. Yeah. It's like some sort of something. But the saddest part, you'll just die. There was a part where she like had this scrapbook and it was like all of her Cavalier King Charles. I know. And she like always had one, like, because they're her favorite dog breed.
Sad.
And like she just like they keep dying on her. It's very sad. But anyway. So yeah, like what is the end game for the two of them? And I think that I think that like Angel was listening, and I think like the reality, because he is older, he's had this like life experience before. I think that he is getting it sooner, and there is a level of denial for Buffy. Like at the end when him and Buffy were sitting together, Buffy was like very much like, oh, the mayor knows nothing, like they don't know us, like they, our love is like true, like we can make this work. And Angel looked like, staring off into space, as in like he was really contemplating this. So I can see, I think that Angel's gonna break up with Buffy.
I think so too. I think he is going to see the writing, like you're saying, he's going to see the writing on the wall sooner than Buffy. Especially, let's think about this. We know prom is coming up. We know graduation is coming up. Do you think this 200 and some odd year old man is going to want to be attending prom? Like, is that not going to be the like kick in the pants that he needs? Like a realization of the maker is right. Like our relationship is essentially doomed. We can't fuck. I can't experience, true happiness, whatever. Like their relationship has an expiration date, and there's just, yes, Buffy's life, she has responsibilities as the Slayer, but she will still age, and he won't. So it's not long for this world. I'm interested how exactly he's going to end up spinning off. Like, is it simply going to be a breakup and then he leaves town? I think probably, because she's staying in town. And so I think he's naturally just going to be like, well, I guess I'll just move on then. Maybe something pulls him away. But certainly we are definitely getting the end of Bangel very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So
I definitely agree with that. I think it's time. Like, honestly, you're so right. Because like she's gonna be like, oh, are you gonna go to prom with me? And it's like, when I was in high school, if you were over 21, you couldn't come to prom.
Exactly.
He's 200 years old. How is he going to go to prom? It's embarrassing at this rate. And I feel like it's just like going to break her little heart. But honestly, I mean, it's good for her. It'll be good for her. Like she
should be single in her college years.
Yeah, she's going to go to college. She's going to meet all sorts of people. I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of frat boy vampires for her to fraternize with. Like, so many. And then in terms of like where Angel's going to go, I feel like he's going to have to be pulled off into some mission. Like, I still feel like that is what's going to be like, I'm needed elsewhere, Buffy. I have other things to do. And she's like, but I need you here. No, you don't. You're an independent woman and you have everything, your whole life ahead of you, Buffy, including college. Go learn. And she's like, no, please stay. And he's like, I can't. The boat is here. It's coming for me.
It's calling for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go take the boat to Australia, New Zealand.
Oh, down under. Are we going to get Angel down under?
Well, I would have said Europe, but the thing is that they're in California. So like the only way to go is through the Pacific Ocean. So it's like, oh, I got to go to, or maybe he's like, I'm going to go to Thailand. Goodbye, Buffy. So
incredible. Yeah.
I think that this is like the facts of life. Have you ever seen The Facts of Life?
Of course I have.
Yeah. What? Tell me you were a Joe girl without telling me you're a Joe girl.
Of course I was a Joe girl. There was no other way to be. And I also liked, hold on, I'm blanking on her name. I was a Joe girly and
Tootie?
I loved Tootie, but I was a Natalie girly because I still to this day remember this line from this show where I'm pretty sure it was Natalie. Natalie says, why would I want to be a sketty little pencil when I could be a fun magic marker? Because she was like a little chunkier, you know?
Yeah.
And I just I love that line because she's so right. Be a magic marker, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, let's dive into the relationship between Mayor and Faith because I feel like we're getting even more like daddy-daughter stuff. Mayor is buying her gifts.
I love gifts. I was so excited when I saw that present on the desk and he is like, I got you something. And she's like, I'm going to open it right now. And he's like, no, you got to be patient. I was like, I want to open up the gift now, right now. So she does get to open up the gift. And it is a sick dagger to stab.
This is a massive dagger. Like, this is not a dagger that you like hide in your boot. This dagger is so fucking huge and she loves it. She also has, and I don't think this is necessarily a gift from the mayor, but later she used this like super sick crossbow. Or maybe it was just a bow and arrow, but either way.
She steal it? Was that the one that she stole?
Maybe she stole it, but either way, they're getting closer. You know, later in the episode, Willow will basically say, like, you don't have anyone anymore. And she says, no, I have the mayor. Like, he cares about me. And she's really going above and beyond to make sure that he will not ditch her or leave her or kick her away. He's like tasks her. I need this box. It's very, very important to me that we get this box for my ascension. And they could have just paid this dude when he brings the box. But instead, she's like, nah, I made him an offer he couldn't survive. And she just kills him. Like,
I think that the mayor likes it. Like, I genuinely think that the mayor, like, of course he's like evil. So if it's like him or her, like, of course he'll choose himself. But I do think that the mayor likes and cares for Faith. I genuinely do. And I think that like she's a good number 2 for him. And I think that like he like very much is very encouraging when she does do these little killies when she probably shouldn't.
The initiative, the skill, like he's like, even if Buffy were to walk in here right now, I would reject her because you're better than her, which everything she wants to hear, right?
It is, but also it's like, why are you saying the B word? Don't say the B word around here. Like, don't bring that up. Like, of course, that's like kind of what she wants to hear, but I don't know. Like, I feel as though the Buffy dangly is just like probably still very uncomfortable for her. This box, it's a party box for his ascension. It's like, what's in it? Who knows? Probably balloons,
bugs.
Probably bats and bugs.
We saw bugs.
Were they spiders? What were they?
In my opinion, they kind of looked like a cross between like a beetle, a scorpion, and a spider. I don't really know what they were.
They were hell bugs. There was hell bugs.
bugs.
But that's fun because when you have a box for your ascension, you need all of the party favors. I'm sure like it's like, oh, that box, that was part of the goodie bags. You're letting my goodie bag stuff out. Don't do that.
There were definitely like kazoos, banners, all that fun stuff in there. It was just those things don't move on their own. The bugs do.
No. Yeah. It's very please. We have like 300 people invited to this ascension. If we lose part of the favors, then I don't know what to do. It's not like
you're a terrible party host if you don't have enough favors for everybody.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. So he's like, I need my box. Where did the box come from? I don't know. The ships, the docks.
It's always the docks. It's always the docks.
It's the docks. So we have the party box and she steals it. And then there's a whole big like a
heist
thing.
Like a heist plan.
Thank you. I forgot the word because I don't watch heists very often. But that was exactly the word. So we have the heist and it's Oz, right? Buffy.
Oh yeah, I have it marked down. So I have everyone's duties for this heist written down.
Amazing.
So we could take them one by one because basically the reason this all begins is Buffy is tired of waiting, right? She is like, I'm sick and tired of just waiting for things to happen. I think we need to take the initiative and see what the mayor has planned for graduation day rather than waiting for graduation day to just arrive. I thought this was great. First of all, she's also taking initiative, just like Faith, which I think is kind of fun. And I think this also stems from the fact that she feels so out of control when it comes to her post-graduation plans. She got into Northwestern, but which is in like a Chicago, right? It's in Chicago or something or near Chicago.
Yeah, it's in Illinois.
Okay, so but the thing is she doesn't even think she'll be able to go. And her mom is so proud of her, but when she tries to tell Wesley, I want to leave town, he's really resistant to the idea. So she feels like she doesn't have any say in her future. Well, at least she can control what the mayor has going on and take the initiative and see what the hell he's up to.
Does she not try to make a deal as well with Wesley where she's like, hey, if I figure out this ascension stuff and like stop it, can I please go to Northwestern? So she wants to get out of town. Like she's exactly what like I wanted to do. Like, please, I do not want to be in the state. I do not want to be in the area. I want to get the heck out of here. And like Wesley's automatic response is, hell no, you're the Slayer. And I think that, of course, Giles is like a lot more sympathetic to everything and he like listens to her. There's like definitely like a layer of like Buffy wanting to retire at least temporarily as the Slayer. She wants to have a normal college experience. She wants to give blowjobs to frat boys in the frat house. That is what she wants.
Yeah. And hard to be doing that when you're stuck slaying every single night.
Yes.
Like, let's face it, she wouldn't be able to go out to the club. Like, she wouldn't be able to do any sort of fun college things because she'd be too busy slaying.
Yes.
So she wants out. Wesley says no. Like you said, Giles is like, listen, I know we've talked about this. So they make a plan. We're going to figure out what the mayor's up to. She snoops on Faith when Faith gets the box, and they know the box is important to the ascension. So they make a plan. We have Willow, Angel, and Buffy. They're going to go on the mayor's office roof, and thank God this box is sitting right underneath the skylight. It's perfect for them because Willow is able to do her little sprinkle black magic. And basically there was some sort of protection spell situation around the box and she breaks it.
I gave Willow a lot of shit for doing a bunch of nothing with her little computer work, which was, we all know, was just going to AskJeeves.com and saying like, where is
hacking?
She was hacking, but in reality she was doing nothing. She is becoming a MVP, the most valuable player with her spells, and she's getting stronger day by day. And
when will Amy not be a rat though?
Never.
Never.
Amy.
I think Willow just likes having her as a pet at this point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, rats are pretty disgusting. I wish that she was something like a black cat, like Salem, or like a turtle. I don't know. But yeah,
Then she need
something
a
like
tank. I guess, rats need
yeah,
cages,
something like
but
that.
yeah, I was at first I was really scared because I'm like, wait, why do they have Willow up there? But then she does her part. She does her little sprinkles, and she gets off the roof. And I thought A+, this is great move because we don't need Willow in harm's way. Well, come to find out, I was very
Stay
wrong.
on the roof, you dummy. Buffy descends from the heavens above and grabs the box.
Very heisty. Except, okay, vampires are strong, right? We know this about them. They're
I
very
guess.
strong. And yet, when Buffy's in this harness, the police system gets like caught. Angel, just grab the rope and lift her up. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
A, you're a vampire. B, like, you're telling me you haven't like lifted Buffy up before? Nonsense.
Buffy probably weighs like 98 pounds, so I feel like he probably could, but also, I don't know. I feel as though we could have gotten a little bit more sophisticated than like a rope on a police system. This was born to fail. Okay, so what does Oz and Xander do? They have a different job.
Right, because Buffy, Angel get into a whole kicky punchy situation. Oz and Xander are, in my opinion, kind of like the ones you just have to give busy work to. Because they don't have powers, they don't have strength, right? They're responsible for getting supplies. And this is so relatable to me, Sarah, because Willow needs specific things, right? Like frog parts and I don't know, the dandruff of a virgin or something weird.
Right.
And so she not only writes them a shopping list, but writes out exactly what to do, even draws a diagram of how to set everything up. And she drew us with a little guitar. And I thought that was so cute.
That's cute. Yeah, it very much reminds me of when men become like the Uber Eats drivers, or not the Uber Eats,
yeah.
The shopping. What is it called? Was the shopping?
Grocery shopping?
Grocery shopping. And
is your brain okay today?
No, I'm really tired. Not even grocery shopping, but they're the one like Instacart.
Oh,
and
yes,
it's like, like the men never are able to like figure stuff out.
What aisle is this in? They never know.
Yeah.
They never know.
And they like take pictures and it's like, oh, they don't have like cookies and cream ice cream. And it's like, it's right there in the picture.
Oh, see, this gets me. I'm going to say it quietly. My husband is upstairs. He's definitely not listening. Here's the thing. I don't send him to the grocery store because if I send him to the grocery store, I'm going to get 50,000 text messages asking me questions about what's on the list. And frankly, I'd rather just do it myself.
Yeah.
Answer all the text messages.
Adam's very self-sufficient, actually.
Well, he's a really good cook too. So I feel like that goes hand in hand, being able to do the grocery store run and also being good at cooking.
We typically go together. Or he goes. Sometimes I go, but then I buy stuff that I'm not supposed to.
It's not on the list.
And then it's not
is it the DC? Are you buying the DC?
No, I don't keep that in the house because it's not good.
You'll drink it. Yeah.
But it's more so like, oh, like this little, like, how many more tomatoes can I buy? Honestly,
you come home with 70 different varieties of tomatoes.
Yeah, I know. I do. And it's like, why do we need more tomatoes? I'm like, because like one's for snacks, one's for salads, one's for this, one's for that. Like there's reasons, but yeah. But okay, so I feel like they successfully got everything that they had to get.
They did. They got everything, so that's their job. And I think Wesley and Giles were like on lookout duty. Honestly, they're in the car. So I wasn't really sure what they were doing, but either way, they probably should have kept a closer eye on Willow.
Yeah, because Willow gets snatched by Faith.
Willow does get snatched, and I love because they get away with the box, and the mayor is like, I just had this conference room redecorated.
Oh, because they're fighting and they like messed it up, which is very rude because you know what? I don't know what part of the party is in the conference room, but probably not 0% of the parties in the conference room.
I feel like that's the setup room, right? Like that's the room where you're like blowing up the balloons and like getting everything ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's pissed off because they took his box and he really needs it. And Faith comes in, she has Willow, and they know, they instantly are like, this is all we need, because they'll obviously trade Willow for the box. And Buffy, of course, how can you let this happen? You know, this is a disaster. Obviously, we're going to be trading Willow for the box. Fucking Wesley, her husband in real life,
Oh my
is like,
gosh.
is like, no, we're not going to do that. Because in his argument is, if the mayor does his whole ascension party, not only will there be streamers and confetti everywhere, but thousands of lives will be lost. So
It's that whole train test, right?
the trolley problem.
The trolley problem. I really like, and there
No,
is no words that
I'm your translator today, so
Thank
I
you.
got you.
Yeah, is it, will you kill one person to save many lives, or will you,
Right.
say like many lives but kill one person? Is that what I said? I said it twice. Whatever.
Yeah, no,
You know the
it's
trolley
basically like someone you love is in trouble. Are you going to save them or save this massive group of people?
Yeah.
And everyone else is like,
I do like see Wesley's point. Like I
of
do.
course, yeah.
Because like he's seeing it as like a numbers thing, and everybody's like, oh, but it's Willow, it's our like closest friend. So I do like hear Wesley's point of view, but they're debating, and then ultimately doesn't like Oz like is like
He chucks a
"Fuck that
vase
shit."
or something. Yeah. He
Well,
chucks a vase to get everyone's attention. And
yeah.
Wesley should have known he was going to be overruled, because even in the planning process of the box heist, he had no say. They planned, and I love this because it shows that the Scoobies are a well-oiled machine before Wesley has arrived. They all have their roles, and they are already prepared for anything that could happen, right? Like, oh no, we already have Willow to like override whatever the protection spell is. And so Wesley gets overruled, and they're ready to make this trade. But they didn't necessarily have to, because Willow, we have seen a shift in Willow,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I think especially since the Doppelgangland episode. She just has this newer confidence about her.
Yeah.
And so she is able, and I love that they set this up a few episodes ago with the pencil.
It's so
Mhm.
good. I loved it. I loved it. It was so good because she was at risk. Like she had like somebody was like choking her out, right?
Yeah, another vampire like heard her trying to do something in the room they were keeping her in, and so he came in to like check in on her, and she was like, "Oh no, not me, blah blah blah." And then she uses her mind control powers, or mind whatever the heck, telekinesis, to stab him through the back into his heart with a pencil made
That was
of
cool.
wood.
That was
Poof,
cool.
goes vampire. Now I've been, I'm going to give Willow praise for that. But I will not give her praise for then going into the mayor's office, seeing all these books on Ascension,
No.
and why just take them with you, girl? Why are you sitting down on the floor?
Well, I mean, I like they're probably really heavy, and I'm sure she like sits there and reads. She gets caught right away.
No, she read a whole bunch of those books before she got caught. She even says it. I don't understand. Like,
Well, I
rip
think
out the pages that look most important.
No, we can't do that. I think that she probably thought that she had like enough time to absorb.
Because she
the
saw them
information.
leave.
It seems as though she has like some sort of like memory where she can like pick up stuff from just like a little bit of like reading, because she was able to like relay a bunch of stuff.
And she
Very
took some
impressive.
pages that she thought were like pertinent for Giles, which again, just take all of the books. Why not?
No, you can't
But
do that. We can't do
we
that.
also got some very, very interesting information from the mayor that Willow overhears in a conversation between the mayor and Faith. It turns out the mayor had an Irish setter named Rusty. And I already loved the mayor as a villain because he gives Big Daddy Vamps energy.
Sure.
Knowing that he had an Irish setter, which I absolutely adore that breed. They're so beautiful.
They
One of
are
the most
pretty.
beautiful dog breeds.
They kind of look like a mix of a lab and a like a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
Yeah, they're like this gorgeous red color, so rusty. a very good name for an
That's a
Irish
good
setter.
name. That's a good name.
But he does call Buffy a dog, and he basically says, like, she's a dog. I know exactly what she'll do. She'll trade Willow for the box, and then I'll kill her like you do with dogs.
Did we
And I'm
talk
like,
about this? Is Buffy a dog or a cat? Did we talk about this?
I don't think we have talked about this. Is
Okay.
she a dog or a cat? What do you think? Because I'm a little torn.
I think the cat.
Okay.
What do you think?
She doesn't give immediate dog vibes. Like,
Yeah.
there are certain characters that immediate dog vibes, but
Xander, dog.
Xander is a dog. Yeah. Giles is a
Oz.
cat.
Giles is a cat. Oz is definitely a cat, a dog.
Yeah. Oz is a dog. He's a very
Willow's
loyal
a
dog.
cat. Is Willow a cat?
I think Willow is a small dog.
A small dog.
Very, distinct small dog energy.
Hmm.
Buffy
Is
could be
Cordelia
either.
a cat?
Cordelia's a cat. Cordelia's a Persian cat.
Ooh, yes.
You know what I mean? She's sassy from Homeward Bound.
My favorite character of all time. Yes.
Love sassy.
I do.
Yeah, I could see Buffy going. Honestly, Buffy is so versatile. I could see her being either, but I'm happy to say she's a cat because I think I could see that.
Yes. Angel's definitely a cat.
Oh, 1,000%. He's a black cat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I do think that I mean, we talked about this before. I think I'm a cat.
Yeah, we've had this conversation because I'm a dog and you're a cat.
Yeah.
So Faith, of course, finds Willow reading, and I love this little monologue, this little speech that Willow gives to Faith. She said, "You made your choice," which, episode title. "I know you had a tough life. Well, boo-hoo, poor you. You had a lot more in your life than some people. You had friends like Buffy, and now you have no one. You're just a big, selfish, worthless waste." And this is when Faith clocks Willow. But bold thing to do when you have Faith, who is a very strong slayer, with this massive fucking dagger.
I think that she was a little bit on her high horse because, once again, I still don't think that Buffy was the best friend to Faith. I think that Buffy is a great friend to Willow, but I don't think that anybody's really listening to Faith. And that's part of the problem. It's very easy for Faith to choose the dark side when the light side doesn't appreciate her.
Yeah, because the world Sunnydale revolves around Buffy. Hellmouth revolves around Buffy, and Faith didn't like being second fiddle. She didn't like being the second Slayer, and it felt like people didn't give her the time of day that she wanted. And I do think, while I see some truth in what Willow is saying, and I understand why she's saying it, because Faith did turn on them. Also, Faith wasn't as tied to the Scoobies. She wasn't as ingratiated into the Scoobies as Willow was. She had a role, sure, but it was almost like if you're in band in high school and you're not first string or whatever, you're not first seat, you're second seat. It's like, do people really care about JV? No, they care about varsity, and she wasn't varsity.
Wow, that is actually savage, Jess.
It's true, though.
Savage.
It's true. Even though she's a very capable slayer. And the mayor interrupts them. He says, "You can play with your toy later. I just got a very interesting call. So it's going to be trade time. It's time to let's make a deal. We're going to trade Willow for the box." Yes. And I love that the mayor makes a big show about this. I like a villain that enjoys being villainous. And the mayor does love doing this. He could easily just go in there and be like, "Okay, here's your captive. Here's Willow. Let me have my box. I'll be on my merry way." No. And he says, "First, I'm going to call out what a dumb relationship Angel is."
He has to read everybody for filth. He has to make everybody feel like shit. Yeah. He's like, what's the end game here? There is no end game. You guys are doomed. And like he said earlier, he talked about his wife. He had his wonderful wife, but she died because he's immortal. And
he said she died in 2003, which is funny because originally I was thinking 2003, but now I'm thinking it was probably 1903 because
wait, that's so funny. Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
It has to be. Because I feel like humanity, right? His humanity is long gone. So it feels like it's probably been decades and decades since his wife was alive.
I wonder what was going on in 1903. Do you have any idea?
No. I'm not good at history at all.
Yeah. I don't know. Probably not much.
No TV, right? TV wasn't invented yet, so no one's watching any television. Maybe radio's around,
Mm-hmm.
probably. Anyway, so the trade happens.
Oh, they invented the first teddy bear in 1903.
Oh, after Teddy Roosevelt, right? Isn't that what he's named after?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
One of my favorite things about this episode is the small beats of Principal Snyder on a drug sniffing mission.
He is so ridiculous. Like, first he goes up to like the jock that I think that Willow's been tutoring, and it's like, I see you have drugs over here. Let me see. And it's like, let me see your lunch bag. And he opens up the lunch bag. It's just a freaking peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, because he was brown paper bagging it, Principal Snyder. Not everyone can afford a lunchbox, okay?
Definitely not Cordelia anymore. That's for sure. So, and then he tracks down this box and is like, I know that there's drugs in this big metal box. What else could there be in here?
Who carries around drugs in a big metal box? Like, literally, has that ever happened in the history of drug selling?
I mean, like, I wouldn't know, honestly. I am not an owner of any metal boxes.
Like, how many drugs are you buying if it's in a massive box like that? I feel like most of the time you're buying like a teeny tiny bag's worth, not a ginormous box. You know, it's ridiculous.
You know, I don't know, because once upon a time I saw this very low known show called Breaking Bad, and there was a lot of drugs everywhere. Yeah. So I'm not quite sure.
Do we think this was fake in terms of, do we think Principal Snyder knows more than what he's saying?
I really thought so, but now I don't. Like, I just think that Principal Snyder is an idiot. Like, I think that he was like taking some instruction from the mayor and was like, oh, I work under the mayor. And I think like that's why he was I don't really even remember what he was doing initially, but he was doing annoying stuff.
He seems surprised that the mayor is there.
Like,
why is he just hanging around the school?
He was looking for drugs.
In the evening, looking for drugs. Like, who's going to be at the school late at night selling drugs? Like, of all the places to deal drugs, you're not going to go to your high school campus to do it.
Maybe he's opening up all the lockers and trying to find the drugs with the police. And he's like, oh, I got to open up and find the drugs with the drug sniffing dogs.
Yeah, he does.
He knows anymore.
He's lost the plot, truly. And one of his guys opens the box and giant nasty bugs start creepy crawling out of there. And everyone's freaking out. The mayor's face gets bit, but it's okay because he's like immortal or whatever. And they start stabbing them. Faith does a maneuver where one is crawling towards Wesley and she throws the dagger and stabs it with it. And then she's so weird about it because they're about to leave. Girl, just go grab the dagger. It was a gift.
I mean, that was pretty weird. I thought that she did act really strangely in this scene. It was almost like she was like, oh, he's bad because these like scary black hell bugs are coming out, and like maybe the Ascension is like evil. Like, I don't know.
She knows the Ascension is evil.
I know, but like, why was she acting so weird around the hell bugs?
I'm wondering is this the first time where both sides have been in a room together, right? Like, is this the first time that she has had like kind of her old dad and her new dad all in one room, you know? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe she was like, it's awkward in here.
I don't think so. Like, I think that like there was like some sort of realization that was going on. I just don't realize what the realization is.
Maybe we'll get clarity on it next episode. And so they leave, and then I loved Willow and Buffy just having their little gossip session about everything that went down. And Wesley and Giles are standing to the side like, Willow, please, what did you find out about the Ascension?
None of your business. We have shit to talk about. We have girl time to say. Yeah. But yeah, Willow, I love how Willow said these lines because like it's just she's cool, like she's cool, like she never was like cool, but the way she says it,
Yeah.
like this newfound confidence, and she really is like enjoying this now. Like I think that now that she has like an importance, like she's the MVP, like I think that she has a lot of pride in this, and I love like the way that she was just like, yeah, like there was something and it seemed like pretty important and I probably should have like had some notes, but I do, here it is, like enjoy it, suck it up. um but yeah, that was really fun, and Giles is very happy he can like read more. It seems as though the information that they did come up with wasn't like groundbreaking information, but
Unless we get it at the top of next episode or something, like,
yeah,
because Giles didn't have a ton of time with the paperwork before we ended the episode.
yeah,
But I totally agree. I think you look at season 1, like, let's pretend we're way back in season 1. If Willow has this information, she's immediately going to Giles and she's like, foaming at the mouth for praise from him. And so for her to do this little like tricksy, like, ooh, I have this, look at what I have. Aren't you proud of me? Like joking. She
mhm,
definitely has this newer confidence about her. And I think this is what helps her solidify her choice of staying in Sunnydale. I think it was
yeah,
this exact mission that proved like I have worth and I know what I want to do. And to do what I want to do, I have to stay in Sunnydale. It's where everything is happening. It's where I can fight evil and help people, and it's worth doing. Um, she got accepted into so many good schools, Oxford, MIT, Yale. Like there's so many schools that want her, but she's happy to be doing her witchy black magics and fighting evil and helping Buffy. And she feels like it's important and she wants to stay here. And I loved that she was able to explain that so clearly to Buffy.
me
Because,
too, because Buffy was like, you don't have to do this, like I
yeah,
realized like I need to stay, like it's important for me to stay, you can go off and do anything, like don't feel bad for me. And I do like that Willow is able to like advocate for herself clearly, like I'm not making this decision for you or us, I'm making it for me, this is what I want to do. And at first I was like very like bummed for Willow because I felt like, I mean, it's kind of like the Topanga thing. Like
yes,
Topanga wound up going to wherever the shitty college that she wound up going to when she could have went to, was it Yale? Um
Harvard, one of those.
Something, yeah,
Yeah.
and we were like, "No, you gotta go to the good school," but, I think that she was able to articulate why she wants to stay in Sunnydale, aside from the fact that she's a main character and she has to stay in Sunnydale. It seems as though Xander is really, like, fucked.
Yeah, so in terms of post-graduation plans, Buffy and Willow both seem to be going to UCS, I guess, or
UC Sunnydale.
UC Sunnydale.
Yeah.
Xander talks about doing a backpacking trip. It seems like he's doing the whole gap year thing, which
Mhm.
nowadays is extremely common and probably advisable in terms of college debt and all that stuff, student loans. But back then it wasn't it was what you did if you didn't have another choice, basically.
Right.
So it sounds like that's what he's doing. I'll be intrigued to see if that actually happens. I don't know, like, does he get late entry into Sunnydale College, or does he go to like a community college nearby? I don't know, but it's interesting that that's what his plan is. And I don't
Mhm.
think, correct me if I'm wrong, Sarah, like, we don't know what Cordelia's plan is beyond the fact that we know now she is working at a retail store. And Oz, I don't he failed high school once already. He failed his senior year once already. So I don't think we've heard from him on what his plans are either.
No, but he used to be, I mean, like, he still is a genius. Like, it seemed as though, like, it was truly the absences because he became a werewolf his senior year why he didn't pass.
Right.
Not because he's not good at testing or he doesn't get good
He's
grades
one of those
typically.
guys that like doesn't try at all and is so smart and it's so annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate those people. Um But yeah, so that's where we leave our characters. Those are their post-graduation plans. Plenty of time for things to get fucked up though, because we still have prom and graduation to get to. So next episode is the prom. And then in case you all forgot, don't forget we're doing graduation day parts 1 and 2 as one podcast. So a lot of stuff. Like these are 2 big high school moments, Sarah, prom and graduation.
I'm very excited. Like, I think it'll be really interesting. I'm curious. Like, I do think that we're going to, okay, like obviously Willow's going to go with Oz to prom. Cordelia probably has some rando. I wonder if Buffy's going to ask Angel and Angel won't go. And then she and Xander will go together as friends.
I could see that being true. Yeah, I definitely could see that happening. I could see them not even getting to go to prom. Like they are all dressed up for it and then some pandemonium breaks out and they're not able to go. But you love a prom episode.
I do. Yeah. And then at the end, like they're like all messed up and they do make it to prom. And then like everyone's dancing and she sees Willow and Oz dancing and she's like sad. And then Angel comes out from the shadows and he's like, I'm here to dance with you.
Yeah, I could see that. What if Joyce is a chaperone and her and Giles do a dance together?
Oh, 1,000%. And then Buffy is like, even my mom has a date to the prom.
Yes, and Cordelia is going to go to prom, but what if she doesn't have a date because she's like, Wesley's going to be there as a chaperone. Yeah. I want to like be dateless so I can hit on
1,000%.
Yeah. I like these predictions. This is fun. So who do we think, Sarah, I want you to put your money down right now. Who's going to have your favorite prom look of the episode?
I think Cordelia. I think like Cordelia might also be prom queen. Or like she's like definitely gonna try to get prom queen, but then everyone's gonna find like Harmony's gonna be like, oh my god, ew, you're poor, yes. You're never gonna become prom queen now. And then like Harmony's gonna try, and then maybe Buffy will win it, but then Buffy will be like, I don't care about this, Cordelia, here's the crown, you are the prom queen, you are a star.
I could see that for sure. Yeah, I definitely could see that happening.
Or Willow has been very popular lately with all the randos. Like, what happens if like Willow gets prom queen?
Surprise, yes.
And then like Cordelia is like, I'm supposed to be prom queen. You cheat. Like you are a homewrecker.
Like who's even popular enough? Maybe it's that Percy dude, the basketball guy.
Who the fuck knows? It's gonna be one of like the random jockey guys.
Yeah, interesting. I think I'm hoping I most like Willow's outfit because that episode where her and Xander kiss and I get really upset when she's wearing the like really pretty dress.
The black like slinky dress.
Yeah. Sometimes they make Cordelia look way older than she is and I don't like it. So I don't think it'll be Cordelia for me.
That's true.
Buffy usually gets the good outfits, so maybe it'll be her. But that'll be next week, season 3, episode 20. Can you believe we are almost done with season 3? Wild times.
Yeah, I really can. It is pretty wild.
So make sure you get your feedback in shit90spod.com, shit90spod@gmail.com if you want to get in any feedback about the prom or graduation day, which is coming up. In the meantime, check out our other coverage. We're covering Felicity. We dropped a bonus podcast earlier this month. So go check out all of those fun things. Sarah, anything else you want to talk about before we get on out of here?
No, I'm very much probably going to go downstairs, get some dinner and watch the prom.
Yes, me too. So everyone, we will talk to you all next week. Until then, here endeth the lesson.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.